Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Oh boy, here we go.
Yeah, we weren't intending on doing this. We were both looking at each other like, "You ready for bed?"
Yeah.
Like we're an old couple. It's
Yes.
7:08 p.m. and it's like, "Are you ready for bed?" Um, but we got some fresh bread that's coming out of the actually out of the Dutch oven. That smells wonderful, guys. And then we saw a few things, and I just said, "Oh crap, we gotta talk about this." This is interesting because I don't know if it was a faux pas on his part or if he knows something that, most don't know. But, I'm on record on 2017, one of the first videos did on this channel of a non energy work nature. Basically saying that, again, I saw that what was going to happen if President Trump got elected. Eventually, we were going to end up in MLAW and military taking over things. I didn't know what that was going to look like. I just knew that that was part of the path. At the same time, the person he was running against, the Hillary one, I felt like we would be in WW3 in a matter of months if she was put in. So, out of the two choices, I thought that there was an obvious lesser of two evils, so to speak. And, here we are. And if you guys watch, it's only a 24-second clip. And this was from Good Morning America. This soldier, he just comes right out there and talks about there's been a transition to military power. And this is what we got from the Galactics, too, back in August and September.
Right. And I think this guy here, I believe he's just kind of following orders and saying what's put in front of him. He looks like he's a very good soldier who does what he's told.
Yeah, he seems, very respectful and very with it. So, Freudian slip, or is there something more going on? We made a state country anymore because it's changing. And, there was a couple comments about, don't put out negative energy. That's fear mongering. Things are always changing. We'll listen to the guides higher than anything. It's what we get is what we feel it's our job to give and to bring across. And that is how they put it. And just think about like the situation we're looking at right now in the Capitol. Can you imagine if it stays like that? Can you imagine if that becomes the way life gets to be in the country going forward? Well, obviously, you wouldn't recognize it if we were just even talking a year ago, and it's been this crescendo. We had a massive influx of new legislation and everything after '01, right, with everything that happened. And there's been a lot of other things that have been put into effect that have slowly been changing the whole nature and way of this country. And this is a bill from Oregon, House Bill 2238. And I don't want to leave it up too long because that's how we got demonized before when we actually talked about, certain legislation, just saying what was put into effect, and then whoosh, the rug was pulled out from under us on the first channel, of which I have asked to have it reviewed probably 150 to 200 times, and nobody ever gets back to you. Nobody gets back to you. Like 9 months later, nobody gets back to you. That says a lot right there. But look up that House bill. Again, it's House Bill 2238. It's in Oregon. Because what it says is, in the event of emergency, your property is not your property. Your food that you have stored is not your food. Anything that you have can be claimed by the state. And this is Oregon. And, Oregon and the left coast has obviously had some of the most draconian measures put in. And draconian is a key operative word here.
It really, really is. And, these are things that have been in play for a very long time. They've been planning this very carefully. It's like a frog in boiling water where people don't recognize it right away, but over time it warms up, and then pretty soon it's too late.
So it says, whenever the governor has declared a state of emergency, the governor may issue, amend, and enforce rules and orders to, number 1, control, restrict, and regulate by rationing, freezing, use of quotas, prohibitions on shipments, price fixing, allocation, or other means, the use, sale, or distribution of food, feed, fuel, clothing, and other commodities, materials, goods, and services. Prescribe and direct activities in connection with use, conservation, salvage, and prevention of waste of materials, services and facilities, including but not limited to production, transportation, power and communication facilities, training and supply of labor, utilization of industrial plants, health and medical care, nutrition, housing, consumer protection, and other essential civil needs. And, number 3, take any other action, including through seizure, use or possession of any real or personal property that may be necessary for the management of resources following an emergency. Oregon, you better wake up, but at the same time, in reality, there have been federal measures like this that have already been passed federally as well.
Well, it's the name that they pasted onto it. I'm even afraid to say it, the P Act. It's terrible.
Yes, and we see here a demand from the left, public locked out of Capitol grounds forever. Publish bill to install fence despite claiming walls don't work. That says a lot. When the entire government has to be behind barricades because they're afraid that civilians are not happy with them, or, whatever else they are doing there, that's not good. That's just not good. That's not a healthy society. As we see off of disclosed TV, Pentagon has deployed hundreds of active duty troops for inauguration security, of course, including service members with expertise in handling chemical, biological, nuclear, radiological, explosives, and medical teams skilled in trauma response. Wednesday is going to be interesting, to say the least. And by the way, there are reports of explosions at Flock of Seagulls-backed militia stronghold, and this is in Iraq. Reports of U.S. airstrikes targeting Flock of Seagulls-backed fighters in Iraq. So we have that going on. And then we also had this published today, the 1776 report from the White House, one of the last acts going on there. And I've talked about this before and read some of it to you, so I'll just give you guys a link. But it just talks about the founding fathers. It talks about what the country was founded on. It talks about where we are heading and the dangers that we see in front of us.
It does. So hopefully you guys will take a look at that and, get some inspiration.
Yeah, the founding fathers had much more of a libertarian mindset. Minimalistic government. Minimalistic. Oregon, Kate Brown, she doesn't seem minimalistic.
No, and she was voted into office, so.
Yeah, we had a conversation with one of our dear beloved Canadian family members, and we were talking about that whole thing.
Yeah.
And they were just saying that they don't see any way possible that the person that is there really is the will of the people, because he's hated. He's not liked at all. Not at all. And yet he'll probably win again.
Yeah, and it just keeps happening over and over.
It's amazing how things work. Well, guys, thanks for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. Anybody needs to set up an appointment with us, reach out, evolutionaryenergyarts@gmail.com or EEARTS@protonmail.com. Make sure you are subscribed. God bless, and namaste.
Namaste.